This is Chris with Dive Zone Scuba for another technical diving tips, techniques, and trips video.
Hello divers, thanks for joining me today. The subject of today's video is an update, more detailed discussion of the 2025 decompression regulator setup that I'm going to be using this technical diving season. So I still have the same M1 here, and I have one of the holsters here, and so that's what we're going to talk about, what we're going to do. So let's start with the M1. First thing is that I have replaced the traditional single wire tie with two wire ties, so I have nubs on either side, and that's going to become apparent when I put the whole regulator together, and you'll see how that can work. All right, so I have this piece of bungee. I believe this is 5/32 inch bungee, although I think you can use 1/8 successfully. And I have a shock cord clamp on here, and there's many different types of those. And then I have the exhaust deflector, which I've detached. Now, when you set this up with the second stage retainer, I originally started out when I started experimenting by putting holes in the actual regulator itself, and that's not really a great thing to do. And I can see how a lot of people might not want to do that. But fortunately, the Atomics have in their exhaust deflector a little slit on this side and this slide. So the approach that I eventually came up with was to use those slots in order to put the second stage retaining band on there. And so all you have to do is take your bungee, spread it apart a little bit, put it down inside the grooves. You want to make sure that it's even on both sides, and you want to pull it down. And an important thing is that you want to pull this in such a way that this is going to be behind. It's going to be behind this little device here. And I'm not really sure what the purpose of that device is, but I think it's used to prevent the diaphragm here from coming out. Not that it would actually do that. So you want to put the second stage retaining band or bungee behind that, so that there's no chance that it can come out. And when you're using the 5/32 or the 1/8, it's very tight. It's very tight in the slot here. So there's really no chance of it coming dislodged and having any issue. So all you have to do then is stick your exhaust port back on, your exhaust deflector back on, and then you're all set. Okay, so this is the configuration I'm using here, like this. Now, when you're going to use this on the tank and you're trying to secure your second stage, the one way you could do it is just by putting it over the mouthpiece, and the hose gets trapped behind here, and this will not come off, and you can easily pull that out. Now, in the event that you wanted to make sure that the hose was really secure, what you can do is to take the retaining bungee, the second stage bungee, I need to come up with the name of that, and you can stick it in front of these two, in front of the two nubs on the wire ties, and that gets a better angle on the hose here. And so this will definitely not come off, but at the same time, you probably will not be able to pull it off without manipulating this. Okay, so if you wanted the hose to be really secure, you could put it in front of the two nubs, and then pull this off of that, and then pull the regulator out. Or if you did not want to, you're not concerned about that, you could just trap it on top of here and then pull that out. Okay, so that's some more information about the way I have this set up. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is this thing here. Okay, so this is a long hose holster, and the other one, the decompression hose holster, is exactly the same thing, except it's narrower and a little bit longer. And so when I send these out, this is the way that it looks, and it has two pieces on there. And so there's two ways that you can install this. The first way, and the way you install it depends upon how thick your waist belt is or your tank band is that you're trying to put this on. And this is a very thick, very stiff webbing here. If you have thin webbing, what you can do is you can actually squeeze it in underneath there if there's enough space there and your webbing is thin enough. But that's not likely to happen because this is designed to be put on either a tank band, in the case of the decompression hose holster, or in the case of the long hose holster, it'll be on a waist belt. So it's probably going to be a thicker webbing, and you're not going to be able to do that. Okay, so what you do is when you get this, okay, you pull it out a little bit and you separate the two pieces like that. And what you want to do is you want to have the smooth part, the continuous part on the inside. You want to have that, well, inside of this. If this were like a waist belt, and I was using this as a long hose holster, I'd want to have the open side on this side. Okay, so what that makes, this is the inside part that goes to here, and so there's nothing to impede the movement of the hose when you deploy it. All right, so this is specifically designed for 2-inch webbing, so you can't really use it with anything else. But this would be on the inside of the waist belt, and this would be the outside of the waist belt where this would go. Okay, so that's how you're going to position this on there. If you do it any other way, it would probably still work, but it's just not designed to do that. Now, so if I flip this over here like this, okay, I'm now looking at the outside of the waist belt, and the way you install this is you hook one side in there like that, okay, and then you've got to pull the other side out past the end here, and then you need to push it in like that. Okay, so this is designed so it's going to be very tight to minimize movement on here, and so you can see I can move it a little bit, but it's basically designed to stay in position like that, so it doesn't have to move around. Okay, so when you get one of these things and you're installing it, that's how you install it. And like I said, the decompression hose version of the holster is done exactly the same, only the dimensions are slightly different. This clip is going to be wider because this part is longer, and then this dimension, of course, is going to be a little bit narrower for smaller decompression hoses. Okay, so those are some more details about the setting up the second stage with the second stage retainer, and also how to install the either the long hose holster or the decompression hose holster on webbing. Okay, so that's it for this video. This is Chris with Dive Zone Scuba. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.